Good morning, traders. So how are we going to trade the DAX today using Bill Williams? Now, as I mentioned yesterday, the 200 daily EMA was pretty much right here, and that's exactly where we found some sellers. Okay, it does line up with a couple of tails to the left. So in other words, this was a fairly good high probability level for price to bounce off. Okay, so it's the most logical space that we would have had. Now, if we just get down to the 30 minutes, you can see we gapped up, tried running past it, and then immediately seller stepped in, and then we just basically went sideways. Okay, so we've had one push down, one push up, two pushes down. Okay, so it's A, B, C. So why is it important? If you look at this, from this range breakout, we broke to the upside, hit a level, okay, and now we've had a correction sequence play out. So it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, if I look at my oscillators right now, everything is indicating that we may be in for a bit of a bounce here. Only concern is that we are below the alligator right now. If I do just step up the time frame a little bit, you'll see the 1 hour is going flat, and we are still above the jaws, and just hovering on the teeth of the alligator. So kind of a bit of indecision. So when alligator goes flat like this, pretty much similar to this, becomes a range. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is that we do have continuation diversions on the hour. So in other words, we had a low and a higher low, and then we had a low, lower low. Okay, so there is diversion. So in other words, price is heading up, the oscillator is moving to the downside. And when we're in a trend and we have diversions like this is continuation diversions and continuation of the trend. So that's what is looking like at the moment. Okay, so let's just get some trend lines drawn in here. So that's the first line. This is kind of a no-brainer at the moment. We do have a bit of a wedge. So again, I'm looking for longs on the DAX. And the question is, where do we go long from? So ideally, I'd like to see us close the gap. So it's 8, 9, 10, and 11. So what we're looking at is, there is the DAX's closing range. Okay, it's these two bars here. So basically what I'm looking for is price to find some form of a base in this area, which would basically break out of this wedge. And then just, if we can find support here, I'll be looking for a long. Okay, not necessarily looking for the closing range breakout. It's too small for me at the moment, but definitely looking for something for a long entry. Okay, just want to have a look at the 4 hour. So nothing really on the 4 hour, except we have the 4 hour 200 moving average here. Okay, so delete that. Come back to the 30 minutes, and that's that. There's nothing else that I can see. If we do break to the downside, I suspect we could, I mean, in theory, we could come all the way down again, back down to 12.442. That is a possibility. And I think a break below the low of yesterday, which we're just going to line that up there, which is going to be 12.511, would then give us an indication that we've got some downside coming. For me at this stage, I think I'm really just looking to trade this. I'm looking for a long entry. So as soon as I see some bullish price action, I'll be in, and I'll be watching this level, the 12.511, 12.500 area, watching that with interest. If we can hold that area, then definitely looking for longs. Targets will obviously be the previous day's high. Okay, so we could very well hit the 200-day moving average again, so 12.580, or alternatively we could hit 12,594 or 12,500 So that's kind of what I expect. If we do get through that and hold the high of yesterday, then you can expect a lot more upside. But for now, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a breakout. First profit target would be in this zone here. I would then expect a pullback. And then if we do form a higher low, a good entry for a third attempt at breaking through the 200-day moving average. And that would bring me a target base in this area up here, pretty much on top of these tails here. Okay, so that's kind of my take on this at the moment. So just summary, I'm expecting us to consolidate, then break up, break this wedge. Then I would expect us to find some form of resistance at 12,580, alternatively at 12,595 or 12,600, and that in this area I would expect us to bounce back a bit. In an ideal world, I would expect us to come and test the break of the wedge and then move the upside. If we do break up the wedge and test it early in the morning, then that is an indication for the long, and I'll more than likely take some profit at this level and keep the balance of my trades for this wedge to play out. Okay, and the wedge breakout is fairly significant because it is quite large. Okay, so I use this red line here. So that would be our wedge breakout target. So this was the initial move up. This is the consolidation, and it's an ABC consolidation. Now that's my next move up, which coincides with the underside of and the top side of this area. So quite a significant level. So that is the long-term play. Okay. And when I say long-term, it's more than likely it's 260 points. So that could happen this week, or it could happen early next week. Depends whether we do this kind of nonsense, the sideways motion. Okay. So that is my view on the DAX this morning. I'm definitely looking for longs, and the question is, where do we get in? So it will be on price, based on price action, and I'm watching this level with interest, 12511. If this level does go, then a short scalp is on, but just look to the left. I'll be watching every single tail as a potential turning point. The reason being, this is an uptrend. You can see the 4 hour, we're uptrend. We are flirting with the 200 moving average at the moment. We've broken through, come back to test the break, and we're above the alligator. Okay, so long-term trend is up at the moment. I'm looking for continuation of the trend. Okay, hope that helps, guys. Stay safe, keep those stops tight, enjoy your day, and I'll catch up with you later. Cheers, man.